We're back here on this Monday night before the Spartans' fifth game of the season is the University of Dubuque taking on the Central College Dutch. And Stan, I don't know if we've talked about this much during the show, but with that win at Luther, that's your 12th regular season win in a row. You don't want me to mention that.
Don't be goddamn jinxing me, god dang it, Tim, son of a gun.
We can cut the tape.
Yeah.
We'll stop right there.
Yeah, it's been, we've talked about that in our staff, and I have not talked to the team about that. I'm most sure some of them are aware of it. We've been playing pretty good regular season football here for the last half of last year and the start of this year. And, the thing that really struck me, you said fifth game. Boy, it's hard to imagine we're already on game 5.
Right.
It's halfway through the season. The weather doesn't tell you it's been halfway through the season, but the schedule sure does. And of course, this fifth game is going to be a very important, pivotal game. And I'll tell you this, Tim, when I talked about our team yesterday about this game, it's not going to determine the championship, but it'll go a long ways to making somebody be in a very difficult position, because you'll have game 3 and somebody will be undefeated in the conference. And so it's important. And, one of the things we've had since I got here, and I really respect the Dutch football program. They've been so good over such a course of years. And even when I was at Whitewater, we knew who Central was and the success that they had in the past and the success that Coach Skipper had. And obviously, Coach McMartin's done a fantastic job down there. They're well coached. And what always stands out about me with the Central football program is very disciplined, and they play extremely hard. They represent our conference very well. And it's one of the programs that I admire most in our league that has had the most consistent success over the years.
You've been 3-2 against them the last 5 meetings. Those 2 losses coming down at Central.
Pella, right.
It's been a while since Dubuque has won. I think back down to the Don Birmingham days, 79-80. Yeah. Went back to back actually and won.
I actually
down at Pella.
told our guys it's been. I don't remember if there was dirt and when you last beat them guys at Pella. But
very difficult place to play.
Yes, very difficult, and they've got the best of us the last 2 times down there. I thought in 2012 we should have won the game, but that being said, we didn't. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to say this to you, Tim. They're a good football team. We're a good football team. I told our guys that there's going to be some real big issues in this game about what decides this game. That is turnovers, like it always does. Explosives that I've talked to you about before, Tim, because I think the team that can make the most explosive plays will win this football game. And then the ability not to have silly mistakes, penalties, holds, whatever those may be. So I think we're 2 very evenly matched football teams. I think we're 2 teams that have a lot of momentum going into this part of the season. Right now, where we're at, they've had some big wins. Their win at Whitworth, I think, on the road is a real big win for them, and I thought our win over Bethel was very similar to their win. And so I think both of us are kind of moving to that situation now. This will be an important game and a big game. Probably the biggest game in the conference on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. One stat that jumped out at me when I was looking at the Dutch briefly, they're averaging 42 points a game, but they've scored 40 points off of turnovers, so they've been very good on the takeaway, but scoring and making a team pay when they do get the turnover.
Not only that, Tim, though, they've got points over turnovers. They've played very well in the second half of their games. They've scored a lot of their points in the second half of the game, the resiliency that they have, and I think the determination that they have. They have a lot of weapons offensively. I think it's a team that reminds me very much of Bethel, with the quarterback having the ability to run the ball as well as throw it. They've got some speed on the edge. They probably think they have the best receiver in the conference, and Sam Markham would be my guess. He's an outstanding player. Makes a lot of big catches and is a very athletic receiver, and with the ball in the air, very, very competitive. That sticks out to me. Both quarterbacks can hurt you with their arm as well as their leg, so that presents a little bit of a different problem than sometimes when you just have a drop-back passer. And I just think their tradition and the confidence that they have when they play at home will be another, obstacle we'll have to overcome if we want to win that football game.
Mentioned they've got 2 quarterbacks, Riley Gray and Nate Boland, and they use them almost 50-50 from the way it sounds. Do they use one or the other in certain situations?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We kind of did a breakdown of it. I'm sure that Central's listening right now, and I'm sure they do their own breakdowns of themselves, but they seem to be almost running the identical packages, so it's not like that when this kid comes in, they're doing that, and when that kid comes in, they're doing that. They seem to run their offense based on they're running their offense, and each quarterback has a different aspect of what they bring. I think both of them throw the ball well, and both of them are very mobile. And I really do believe that they create a lot of problems because they have such. They can put it on the edge to your receivers. You can run it inside the running back, or they can do some perimeter zone reads with their quarterback. So you got to defend the field, just like we had to do against Bethel. And so they're going to stress you on some points about your outside backers and safeties who have some run-fit responsibilities and some drop back. And then on defense, I think they're probably going to be the best front seven that we've faced so far this year, and that creates problem. I think they lead the league in sacks, and I think they're probably going to try to heat us up a little bit. And, of course, we really feel like we've got some skilled kids that we can get some matchups and put some stress on their defense also with some of the skill that we have and our ability to throw the ball. So, again, it's going to be really interesting. They've run a ton of plays, Tim. They just have a ton of plays. And unlike last Saturday, this game could be really long, not very short, because you're going to have guys thrown at the clock's going to stop and those kind of things. So it's going to be an exciting game. It really is. And I can't wait to play it, to be perfectly honest with you, Tim. We're really excited about going down and playing a very quality opponent and see where we are in our development this year.
They're coming off a close call at Loris on Saturday, 42-34. As you mentioned, wins at Whitworth and Augustana, and also Buena Vista.
Right.
How about the Iowa Conference 2 weeks into it? Any thoughts on?
You look around and you think, obviously Wartburg and Co. are playing very well, and Wartburg lost the first game, but the other team had played a game and Wartburg hadn't. They've seemed to have rebounded a little bit on that, and they're going to be a quality football team. Co. just seems to be virtually unstoppable right now, rushing the ball, scoring a lot of points. So they're surely going to be a team down the road to be reckoned with. And Central appears to me to be right now probably the top team in the league, and we'll kind of see after this Saturday if we can be mentioned in that same kind of conversation about us being one of the top teams.
Coach, before we let you go, any final thoughts on the game that just ended against Luther or this Saturday? The Luther game, I was excited, and I told the team afterwards on some of these days I would be a little bit disappointed about how we played, but I thought the field conditions, the adverse things that we did, really I felt good about a team effort, special teams, defense, and offense. And so I really hoping that team thing will carry us into Saturday, because we'll need all 65 guys in all phases of our team to beat Central if we have a chance. We've got a couple of assistants coming over. Miles Hookstead and Austin Hughes are going to join us next. Talk about those two gentlemen, what they've brought to your staff.
God, Miles has been, we were talking about this in the office. Miles was talking about when I used to coach him when he was in third grade, and I said, oh, boy, don't be bringing up those stories, my friend. And he played for us for 4 years and then GA'd for us for 2 years and joined us full time. And Miles has been with me forever, it seems like, in many, many respects. But I think the really kind of cool thing is when you get to coach a kid and then he ends up being the type of kid that you'd like to hire. And we've done that with both these kids. So I guess both these men, they're no longer kids. I'll never think of them other than kids, but they surely aren't kids anymore.
All right, well, we'll bring the kids over here in just a moment and talk with them. Miles Hookstead and Austin Hughes are going to join us in our next segment here on the UD Football Show with Stan Zwiefel. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you down in Pella. Good luck to you guys against the Dutch.
See you down there, Tim.
All right. We'll come back and we'll have our next segment of the UD Football Show. When we return, we're going to talk with the assistant coaches Miles Hookstead and Austin Hughes. Will join us during this segment coming up next on 101.1 The River. To our next segment here on the UD Football Show. We're going to talk with assistant coaches tonight. Last week we met a couple of players, but some of the assistants going to join us. Miles Hookstead, we just heard from Coach Zwiefel about your history with Coach, and you probably feels like you've known him since you're in diapers.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Growing up in Whitewater and going to high school with both of his sons, I've known Coach Z for a long time, and going to be happy to be part of his staff now.
Well, that familiarity has got to be, a great relationship as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Being around him for going in my 8th year now at the college level, just kind of knowing what he wants as far as personnel, substitutions in the game, those types of things, really makes it a little bit easier for him to get the play call in while we get the personnel, and makes it a little bit easier for him.
Of course, you were a great tight end for the Spartans, and you coached wide receivers here at the University of Dubuque. I'm guessing you never played running back, but you're the running backs coach this year for the Spartans. Talk about what kind of transition that's been.
I did play one game at fullback my freshman year, so I got that little background. But no, didn't know much about running back going into it. Obviously playing tight end, coaching wide receivers, but we had Jeremy Whitlow take over the wide receivers. Been a great move for us, and got to coach running backs. Got to work a little bit more with Coach Nystrom, and guy that really knows his stuff. So I've been able to develop a little bit more as a coach. Put me in an unfamiliar territory right off the bat, but I think I've adjusted to it well and love working with Mo Jackson Harrion or whatever last name he goes by.
I heard he's got like 3 of them.
Absolutely. So having him back is great to have that experience. Dwayne Allen, freshman, really had a good game against Luther. He's the guy that can take that long run and put in the end zone for us, which we've kind of lacked here over the past couple of years. So great to have the bruiser in Mo and then have Dwayne come in and do that part to hit a big one for us.
No doubt about that, and that was apparent in the game against Luther. You saw both aspects of what you just talked about, and that was a big reason why the Spartans were successful on the ground.
Yeah, especially when you go into that game with the field conditions the way they were. It was hard to get some of the snaps going, hard to get our quarterback going. Wide receivers slipping and falling a little bit. O-line, they did a heck of a job of opening up some gaps for us. When you watch film, you see Dwayne's long run. You could have ran a bus through that hole. It was so big. And, a heck of a job by our Coach Nystrom and that offensive line, getting things going. And a nice job by our fullbacks as well, Holly Holmes, T.J. Jackson, switching back over from linebacker. Damian Clemens didn't get any playing time at the running back position for us against Luther, but a heck of a job on special teams. So we're excited about that position. And, we couldn't get the passing game going, but it's nice to be able to fall back on that running game, get that thing going, and now hopefully we can be a little bit more balanced as we go out the rest of the year.
Seems like Coach Zweifel does like to throw the ball a little bit more than maybe run the ball. So talk about how that plays into the offense, the running game's role in the offense.
Yeah, some teams use the run game to open up the pass game. We seem to always use the passing game to open up the running game, and I think it gets Coach Z in a much better flow of calling a game, which that's what it's all about. You want the play caller to feel comfortable to be able to call any play that he needs to be effective, and if it's the pass to set up the run, we're all about it. We want to be successful no matter how it is. We don't care about stats at the end of the day. If we have more points than the other team at the end of the day, it's been a good day for us. That's what we're excited about.
Miles, it's been great having you on the show here. Once again, you've joined us the last couple of seasons, and we're going to bring on Austin Hughes over here. So we'll see you on Saturday at Pella. Good luck to the Spartan running game and the entire team. So
thanks so much.
Hand those headsets off to Coach Hughes there and put those on, Austin. And we'll talk a little bit about the linebacker core and the defense for the Spartans. Thanks for coming on the program tonight.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, you've had a fresh crop of linebackers come in. A lot of players gone because of graduation. A great linebacker core. So, but you've seen steady progress from this group. Talk about their improvement throughout the first 3 games.
Yeah,
or 4 games. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's been tremendous. Moving LeDevin Smith over from fullback in the spring, really getting him rolling as a junior. Jake Owens, a sophomore, finally getting some serious playing time as a sophomore. A couple of the other younger guys, freshmen, that are, like Coach Z talked about, how athletic and the speed part of it has been just awesome. Joey McMahon, Logan Benter, Louis De La Cruz, just some younger guys that get some playing time, and it's been great. It really has. LeDevin's done a heck of a job transitioning. He's just such a physical kid and can run sideline to sideline, which we saw this past Saturday against Luther. I've really enjoyed it. Like you said, we've had some fabulous linebackers last year, graduated 3 all-conference linebackers, and to start with the new fresh guys, it's exciting. It's been really nice.
We've talked about it a lot with Coach Zweifel, but the speed on the defensive side of the ball, it is really apparent this year, and it really showed up in that game against Luther on Saturday.
Yeah, it did. And it's not only the linebackers, it's the safeties, it's the D-line, some of the young DNs that we have that are just unbelievable with their quick twitch. The safeties running the alley, Derek Trotter, Michael Joseph. Derek Chambeau did a heck of a job out there at corner with us, making some big tackles. And, that was our goal going into this year, going out recruiting the speed, recruiting the athleticism, and it's seemed to work out for us pretty well so far. So
Now, like Miles, this is your first year with the linebackers, right? You spent last year with the safeties, right? And before that with the linebackers. So you're back with the linebackers, and that's GA. Probably a little more familiar territory for you playing there.
Yep, it is. You know, I played 4 years of linebacker here. My first GA was with the linebackers. Last year I was with the safeties and Coach Carl, which I loved, getting to pick his brain, him teaching me some new different things, learning from Coach Simmons, our old linebacker coach. It was a really easy transition. They made it as easy as possible with, 10 new guys at the linebacker position, but they made it as easy as possible for me. And with the athletes that I had, it's nice.
How about the challenges Saturday when you take on Central? Coach Z talked a little bit about it, but just from your viewpoint, what kind of a defensive effort you're going to have on Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to have to go, give 100%. They're a really good team. They're well coached. They're going to play hard. They mix up the run and pass pretty evenly. Like we talked about, they run the two quarterbacks, and it's pretty much the same game plan that they have. They have a younger running back, a sophomore. He does pretty well. Riley Gray, the quarterback. And then Markham, they're gonna feature him. He had 15 catches, I think, this last game. He leads the team with 45 catches. He's a really good athlete, and they're gonna get him the ball in many different spots. So it's gonna take a full team effort on defense, special teams, offense to come this Saturday.
Austin, pleasure having you on the show, and good luck to the Spartans and the linebacker unit coming up Saturday against the Central College Dutch. And maybe we'll talk to you later this year, but thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Austin Hughes, one of the assistants joining us on Coach Zweifels' staff, rounding out our program for tonight. Just enough time to remind you about our broadcast coming up on 101.1 The River. Saturday from Pella, 12:40 with the pregame, 1 o'clock with the kickoff. It'll be a game you don't want to miss, and we'll have it right here on 101.1 The River, 1011theriver.com, and also streamed on the University of Dubuque's website through the Stretch Internet portal that you can access at dbq.edu. So that's going to wrap up our broadcast for tonight. I'm Tim Larry on 101.1 The River.